Massive headlines just rocked the MMA world. Francis Ngannou has officially been cleared of wrongdoing after a tragic accident in Cameroon. José Aldo might have accidentally confirmed a rumor that's haunted his legacy for over a decade. And Ilia Makhachev has responded to Ilia Topuria's call-out, setting the stage for a potential superfight at welterweight. Let's break it all down. Francis Ngannou cleared in Cameroon court after deadly accident. This story begins with a heartbreaking incident that took place in Cameroon earlier this year. Francis Ngannou, former UFC heavyweight champion and one of the most feared punchers in MMA history, was involved in a tragic road accident. A 19-year-old woman named Sama Manuela was struck while on a bike, and sadly she passed away 6 days later in the hospital. As the news broke, speculation and assumptions quickly followed. Despite Ngannou cooperating with authorities from the start, the incident cast a heavy cloud over his name. Questions swirled about whether he was at fault, if he was speeding, or if there had been negligence. But now, the facts are clear, and they completely change the narrative. A Cameroonian court has officially cleared Ngannou of any responsibility in the young woman's death. The final verdict places the blame not on the accident itself, but on what happened at the hospital afterward. According to the official press release, we wish to draw attention to the circumstances surrounding the death of Mrs. Sama Manuela, victim of a road accident involving Mr. Francis Ngannou. After a rigorous analysis, it was established that a serious medical error was committed during the care of Mrs. Sama Manuela at the hospital, in particular an overdose of anesthesia, which directly contributed to her death, which occurred 6 days after the accident. We strongly denounce this medical error and request that full light be shed on the responsibility of the hospital establishment and the nursing staff. Finally, we seek compensation for the victim's family, so that they can obtain justice for the moral and material damage suffered. The court's decision clears Ngannou legally, but the emotional toll of this tragedy will likely remain with him. He hasn't made a public statement yet, but for now, justice has taken its course, and attention is turning toward accountability in the healthcare system, where the real mistake was made. Moving up next we have José Aldo's age rumors spark back up after strange comment. Next up, an unexpected quote from José Aldo is raising old questions about his true age, just as he prepares to walk away from the sport for good. José Aldo officially returned to the UFC earlier this year after a brief retirement and a stint in boxing. At UFC 315 in Rio de Janeiro, he stepped into the octagon for what would become his final MMA fight, facing Ayman Zahabi in a featherweight bout. While Aldo had strong moments, including a knockdown in the third round, the judges awarded Zahabi a unanimous decision victory. The result was controversial, with many fans and fighters calling it a robbery. Following the fight, an emotional Aldo announced that he was done with MMA, stating he no longer had the drive to continue. Despite the loss, he walked away with his legacy intact, still celebrated as one of the greatest featherweights in the history of the sport. But just days later, a quote from Aldo began circulating online, and it sparked one of MMA's oldest rumors all over again. In an interview reflecting on his future, Aldo said, "Thank God I'll be almost 50 in 5 years." That's when fans did the math, and something didn't add up. According to public records, José Aldo was born on September 9, 1986. That would make him 37 years old today, in May 2025. Which means in 5 years, he'll be 42. Not almost Ellie. Used to Ellie. Now, to be fair, it's possible Aldo was exaggerating, speaking loosely, or simply misspoke. But the internet wasn't having it. Longtime fans immediately connected the dots to a theory that's followed Aldo since his WEC days, that he may be older than officially listed. This rumor has deep roots. Back in the late 2000s, questions were raised about inconsistencies in Brazilian documentation, especially in underprivileged areas like Manaus, where Aldo grew up. Some believed that if Aldo were actually born a few years earlier, it would explain how he rose so quickly and dominated at such a young, listed age. While there's no hard evidence to support the theory, the comment has reignited debate in the MMA world. Was it just a slip of the tongue? Or did Aldo accidentally confirm what some fans have suspected for years? Either way, the timing couldn't be more surreal. Just as the curtain falls on his career, the whispers come roaring back. Moving up next we have Islam Makhachev responds to Ilia Topuria's 170 challenge. And now to a showdown that feels closer to reality than ever before. Islam Makhachev versus Ilia Topuria at 170 pounds. It all started when Ilia's brother, Alex Topuria, revealed that the featherweight champ isn't content with dominating just one division. After his next fight, Ilia plans to jump to welterweight and chase down none other than Ilia Makhachev. That statement alone got people talking, but now it's gone to another level. Ilia Makhachev has officially responded. When asked if he would fight Ilia at 170, Islam didn't just say yes. He said he plans to stay at welterweight long-term. He's not interested in a one-time super fight. He's looking to clear out the entire division.
Everybody, like a lot of people ask me to fight Ilia. What do you think? Not make sense. I fought with Ilia for what? Not belt, nothing, Money, I have money, I don't need money. But I'm not saying no. If I clean my division, and if people want, if Dana want, why not? I can do this.
That's massive. Because if Islam defeats Jack Della Maddalena, it won't just be a win over a top contender. It'll be a takeover of a second division. And if Ilia also handles business against Charles Oliveira, the stars are aligning for one of the most high-stakes matchups possible. Ilia's rise has been nothing short of dominant, undefeated, ruthless, and full of swagger. He's not just floating the idea of fighting Islam. He and his camp are hunting it. They want the champ, they want the weight jump, and they want the legacy that comes with it. On the other side, Islam has already proven his dominance at lightweight. Moving up to welterweight and staying there signals something even greater. He wants to be remembered not just as a champion, but as a ruler of multiple divisions. With names like Shavkat Rakhmonov, Bilal Muhammad, and now Ilia Topuria circling, the welterweight landscape could be completely reshaped by the end of the year. Moving up next we have Garry promises to dominate Makhachev and the welterweight division. And speaking of the welterweight division, add Garry to the mix, because he's making bold promises of his own. The Irishman has declared that not only will he dominate the division, but he's targeting Ilia Makhachev by name. Garry believes the welterweight class has never been more stacked with dangerous young talent. Fighters like Shavkat Rakhmonov, Jack Della Maddalena, Michael Morales, and Garry himself are all in their 20s, all undefeated or close to it, and all looking to take over. But Garry doesn't want to blend into the crowd. He wants to lead it. He sees himself as the future champion and says he's willing to take on every top contender to get there. He's not looking for shortcuts, and he's not avoiding anyone. His goal is to be the guy who runs through the division. I'm going to fight all of the top welterweights at some point in time, because when I'm the champion, I'm going to be beating up everyone. That's the next contender, the next best guy. His confidence is sky high, and that mindset, combined with his current momentum, makes him a serious name to watch in the race for the throne. Francis Ngannou walks free after a tragic misunderstanding. José Aldo leaves the sport amid fresh questions about a rumor that just won't die. Ilia Makhachev and Ilia Topuria are circling each other for a super fight. And now Garry is throwing his name in the mix, promising to run the welterweight division. The game is changing fast. New contenders are rising. Legends are stepping away. And every move is setting up the next big moment. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like the video, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss what's coming next in MMA.